Jeffrey, she's giving you all 7 signs she's into you. You could go up and talk to her and foster a beautiful relationship where you love each other and you can explore the world together and have children. No. Oh, no, it's too late. She's turned off because Jeffrey didn't notice the signs. Jeffrey's been struggling with attracting girls his entire life, but he doesn't realize that there's been girls who have liked him. Adonis sees Jeffrey completely oblivious to the girl who was into him. It'll be another 6 months before a girl is into him again. We have to get him ready. Adonis takes Jeffrey by the scrawny hand and gets him onto self-improvement. Thousands of workouts, hours of meditation, and stacks of journals. Jeffrey is a new man, and now he doesn't even wait for the subtle signs. When he likes a girl, he just goes up and talks to her. Wow! Jeffrey gets to find his future wife. You've done it again, Adonis. I remember being in the gym ages ago, and I'm there with like a friend, we've got good music on, I'm pumping up, chest press or something, or incline bench press, and I noticed this girl who I've not seen before at the corner of the gym, and she keeps looking over at us, even to the point that my friend says it, oh, she's looking at you, bro, this is yours, whatever. For some reason, I kind of have like this kind of cool mode where I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm not even gonna say anything, I don't even care. But I did, and I kept on thinking like, oh yeah, speak to her soon, like, you know, after this set, oh yeah, put these dumbbells back, yeah, I'll do another exercise, then I'll do it after that. I'm in the middle of the next exercise, and out of the corner of my eye I see that she just gets up, gets her stuff, and she walks out. And I'm kind of finished the set. Then once you finish the set, you're kind of like walking around the gym a little bit. You've got like 90 seconds before the next set. And I kind of stand in the way where I can see she just went to like some of the other machines, and she hasn't. She's literally just left the gym. So, okay, feels like an L. Oh, I should have spoke to her, whatever. I'll see her again. I never see her again. Never seen her. Like, I don't even know if she was real. Obviously, it's not that big of a deal. But that day would have been more fun if I just went up and spoke to her. Let's say worst case scenario, even if she wasn't interested, which of course can happen. You could imagine like that day I'm there hype with my friend. If I went up and spoke to her, you could imagine that would have been like a funny addition to the day, wouldn't it? And I missed out on that life experience, truthfully, because I kind of noticed the sign, but it didn't really click in my mind that like she's already into you. Like, it's easy mode. All you've got to do is literally just walk up and say the most simple sentence, which I'll walk you through in a second. So do this action step right now and don't be a pussy. Scroll down to the comments right now and tell the story of a time where a girl showed these signs to you, whether you knew it was a sign or not, and then maybe how much you fumbled from that. Don't just read other people's comments, go write your own. It'll also help boost the algorithm as well. Okay, so here's the 7 subtle signs you want to be watching out for from now on. And by the way, when you listen to these, especially the last one, which is the most important one, you will keep this in your mind, and the next time you're around a girl, you'll realize like, oh shit, that's one of the signs Hamza mentioned. I'm just gonna go speak to her and say exactly what Hamza told me to say. So the first sign that a girl likes you and she wants you to make a move on her is that she likes your social media content. So she likes your Instagram pictures, your Instagram stories. If you're like a child and you still use Snapchat, then she likes that. TikTok, if you're a pedophile, then she'll like your TikTok stories or whatever. When girls are interacting with your social media profile, of course, it's not 100% mean that, okay, she wants you to deep throw her or anything. But a lot of the times when a girl likes your stuff, there's a bit of an interest there. And it's just such an open invite. When she likes one of your Instagram pictures, you can literally just message her and honestly not even make it such a big deal. You can just message her saying, hey. And that will at least start a conversation. The second subtle sign, and one that I think girls don't even realize they're doing themselves, is that she will place herself closer to you. So I remember being in the gym, this was years ago, and I'm just minding my own business. I'm on like the cable machine doing like tricep push down. And this girl with a gym physique, okay, so big fucking glute and also fake tits, like massive tits, walks past me. And she goes on like the cable opposite me. So it's almost like this funny thing of like, as we're doing our exercise, like our eye kind of meets. And from here, I can smell her perfume and it smells good. So I've got a pair of balls. So I literally just go around the cable. You still feel a little bit awkward, but I just said to her like, oh, hi, you smell nice. And she's like, oh, well, oh, thank you so much, whatever. End up getting her number, speaking a little bit. We meet in the gym like 1 or 2 weeks later. We actually make out in like the gym. Like we have like a jacuzzi on the top floor. I go to like a fancy gym. So we're making out there and everything. Nothing really happens and we stop speaking to each other for years. I end up getting into a relationship. I think she does as well. And earlier this year, we actually met and, we spoke of the time that, we first met like 2 years ago. It's funny. And we got to know each other a bit more. Didn't really last, but I mean, it's a fun experience. The lesson from that is like, she went almost as close to me as possible in the gym. And I never even asked her, but like, if I did ask her, like, did you do that on purpose? I think she would have said no, like that was the exercise that she was supposed to do. But the truth is, if we did have like a graph or like data, I could promise you 100% that when a girl is into you, she will get physically closer to you, and her own brain will tell her like, yeah, there's a good reason why you've got to be here. It's not for the guy, it's not for the guy. But it would be. No matter what a woman says, the truth is, the more attractive you are, the more you'll notice girls will just be around you more often. It's just the case. You can imagine why with common sense. It's like, you know, they feel more comfortable around you. They just happen to think that that area you're in is more necessary for whatever they want to do right now. So one of the subtle signs is like, if you notice a girl's constantly kind of around you, whether it's in school and she sits closer to you, or she's randomly like, you know, next to you and on the desk or something, just getting something all the time or whatever it is, it's again an open invite for you to just turn and just say to her like, hello, and just speak to her like that. By the way, I also just want to give you a tip here, because I'm often asked like, what do you say to girls? A lot of guys have asked me this, especially with like cold approaching in the gym. What do you say? And my advice is always the same. I say this to my students. So I have like an online school and we do calls where guys will say like, you know, there's this girl I want to get with, whatever. We also do like business and everything, right? But the advice I always give always like drops jaws for how good it is. And the advice is, how would a complete retard handle this situation? Imagine that guy that you probably know from like high school or something, who's a bit of a simpleton. Like, he's a pretty attractive guy, but he's a bit stupid. But he's always got like beautiful women. Like, you probably know someone from high school who's always got like a beautiful girlfriend, but he's a bit of a simpleton. How would that guy approach the girl that you want? The reason why that guy fucks and you don't is because he's actually stupider than you and you're too intelligent. When you're this intelligent, you're watching a fucking guide on like how to attract more women. I'm telling you right now, 99% of guys don't watch shit like this. Like, you've probably been in this culture of like self-improvement, discipline. Solid like 50, 60% of guys you've met in your life have never once watched shit like this. They've got their hand in their pants whilst they're playing like fucking FIFA or Fortnite or something, right? So you're like so obsessively like an overthinker and intelligent, and you know, you're calculating your moves, that it's not a good thing that you'll be like thinking about what to say. The retard who ends up getting the girl, you know what he does? He goes up to her and speaks to her like in the most basic sense. He'll go, hello, my name's Jack, what's your name? And he'll end up fucking her because of that like that opening sentence that me and you are like discussing, like, wait, whoa, the opening sentence, like, you know, like we're taking it so seriously. Like, one of these guys will go up to the girl that you want and just be like, hi, you're really beautiful, what's your name? And he'll end up dating her whilst you're there like thinking, oh, well, you know, oh yeah, does he, yeah, he's stupid, he's not even on self-improvement anyway. The guy who speaks to the girl, even if it's basic as fuck, is the one who has a chance at getting her. But the autist at the side of the gym who's judging the situation and then comes home to watch another Hamza video, you're gonna just fucking wank yourself to sleep. Or maybe you're gonna update your fucking Discord username to update the semen retention nofap streak that you're on. You've got to reduce like half of your brain power when it comes to talking to girls, especially the first conversation, because you can overthink your way out of it. When you see a girl, let's say she puts herself in your physical area, you don't have to come up with something fucking witty or anything. You can literally just look at her and say like, hello, what's your name? That's it. You can literally just do that. If you just try this, right? Just try this. The next time you're in the gym, you can walk up to a girl and just say, hello, what's your name? And she'll go, what? And you go, what's your name? I've not seen you before. She goes, Samantha. You say, my name's Hamza. Nice to meet you. What are you training today? I'm training legs. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to do legs tomorrow because I just trained them yesterday and I got like an injury. What exercise are you going to do? You're doing hip thrust. Oh, that's awesome. Can I get your Instagram, by the way? That's it. You don't need to have like the riz that you think you need, that all these autists on the internet try and tell you that you need. The biggest thing by far is literally, can you just go up to a girl and open your fucking mouth and say something? If you can do that, you have like a percentage chance of getting the girl. If you can't do that, then there's a 0% chance, no matter how good the stupid little pickup line opening sentence that you've been thinking in your mind. So it would be better if you went up to every girl that comes across you with the stupidest brain dead approach of, hello, what's your name? Then you having the perfectly constructed sentence, but missing like 90% of the girls that you're interested in because you're overthinking. The third sign that she wants you to make a move is that she's always available to talk. So let's say you and her are kind of like friends and you speak, maybe you speak online or whatever, and she's always kind of there and she's being friendly and she's talking, then that can obviously be a sign for you to kind of escalate things further. So you've already gotten into like the talking stage, which is nice. But now you've just got to have a pair of balls and just to like subtly ask her, like, if you you want to go on a date. The way that I word this personally is to just ask like, oh yeah, what's your relationship status at the moment? Are you single and ready to mingle? Something like that. Like you just ask, okay, are you single? Because, oh, are you like dating anyone? Because that puts you in this safe place where you haven't said to her that, oh yeah, I want to be your boyfriend, please. But it gives her the opportunity to say like, oh yeah, I'm kind of seeing someone right now. If she's into you, she'll say, oh yeah, I'm free. I'm single. Let's do it. One thing you need to avoid, and this is where it gets tricky. There's a lot of girls who've got mental illnesses. And one of the mental illness that I see very common in young people is that they really like getting notifications on their phone. It gives them a sense of safety and security. So if there's a stupid girl that you know, and most guys are like this as well. Most people are just stupid. Let's just be honest. Stupid girls and stupid guys, they like to have messages on their phone, unopened messages. Like if you ever see a girl's phone and go onto her Snapchat or Instagram, there'll be a massive list of unopened messages. She has the bandwidth to see them, but she gets a sense of security from leaving them unopened. In my opinion, it's like a mental illness. It's just weird fucking trait, right? So there might be some girls who are always available to talk, who'll reply to you and even go on FaceTime with you. But it's because they've got this weird like scarcity, like, you know, they're trying to get as much attention as possible. Not that they actually like you, but that they just like getting messages. So to tell you a story about this, I downloaded Tinder for the first time. I was like 17, 18 years old. And there was this girl that I matched with, and I eventually got her number. And in our texting, I would text her like, oh, hey, you know, what are you up to? What are you doing today? And her response was almost always the same thing of like, TV, WBU, like I'm watching TV. What about you? And because she had sent that text message, I thought it was a good thing because obviously she replied and my friends told me, well, yeah, she's replying, so she's into you. What I didn't realize at the time is like girls reply to guys they've got no feelings for, like no interest in whatsoever, just because one, they're kind of scared of, you know, upright telling you they're not interested, and two, they like it when you reply because then they have another message that makes them feel important. So a subtle sign that a girl likes you is that she's available to talk, but don't just think that because a girl replies to your text messages that she's into you. You've got to escalate it and ask her out on a date. And then if she says yes to that and she shows up, okay, you know, she's interested, sweet. If she says yes and then she keeps canceling, then of course she's still not into you. If she makes any excuse 2-3 times in a row, then she's not into you, even though she's replying. Like I remember so many girls who would reply to me and even message me all the time, but when it was time to meet, they would just bail. And you don't want to have girls like this in your life. They're just like such a waste of mental bandwidth. Subtle sign number 4, her friends talk about her to you. So especially if you're young and you're in school, or maybe you've got like a certain culture in the places you go to, like the gym or whatever, her friends will like come up to you, get into conversation, and they'll mention her to you. Oh yeah, she's doing this. Her boyfriend, you know, her ex-boyfriend, or oh yeah, she's single, whatever. Her girls know if she wants you, and so they'll try and make it easier by subtly kind of mentioning to you that like she's single or that she's like this or like that. When you have girls who are talking about their friend that you might be interested in to you, you can often just like cut the bullshit and just say to them straight up like, oh, is she into me? What do you think? Should I go up and ask her out or something? Because these girls, like, they'll play around the bush up until you look them in the eyes and then tell them the truth. I remember being in university and dating a girl, and her friend was like subtly acting like this, and I straight up just looked at her and went like, does she want to fuck me? And her friend kind of got shy and she went like, yeah. And then I ended up getting that girl that same night. So the 5th sign, and I'm actually going to couple this with the 6th sign because both of them can be joined together, is that when you see her, you make eye contact, so naturally she's looking at you, and she's also smiling and happy to see you. So if you make eye contact with a girl and she smiles, that is like literally your almost number 1 perfect indicator for you to go up and to go speak to her. There's only one thing that's better than this, which I'll talk to you in a second. But when you make eye contact with a girl, the most important thing is that you don't look away like a little bitch. The time where like sexual tension is built in eye contact is you make eye contact and you keep your eye on her up until she moves her eyes away. But you don't want to do this like an Indian man would with like no expression and it just makes her feel uncomfortable. You want to do this how like an attractive guy would, where you look her into her eyes and you kind of like smile a little bit at the same time. You can do a bit of a wave or something as well. And then when she's like smiling, that's your perfect time to not just wait and sit around, but to walk straight up to her and just command your brain to just say something like, hello, you've got a nice smile. That's it, brain dead, and you'll get into the middle of the conversation. There's only one sign more important than this, and that's sign number 7. And that is when you guys have made eye contact and she's smiled at you, that she does something which shows that she's like so receptive of you coming over. And so I know like, okay, if a girl does this, she is so into me. That's when you'll make eye contact and she'll literally like smile at you like with a big wave like this. She'll kind of like awkwardly stand around. Her body language will express like, are you gonna come stand next to me? Like she's not doing anything. She almost looks a bit awkward because she's like not doing anything in the middle of some environment, like in the middle of the gym. She's not walking to the next machine. She's not really on like the set or the rest break or anything. She's just kind of awkwardly stood there waving at you. That's literally your biggest sign that she's literally stood there. It's the metaphorical equivalent of like she's holding up a sign saying like, come talk to me, fucking pussy. So when you have these moments when a girl's holding your eye contact and smiling, the biggest like tip I can give you is you need to turn your brain off and not use your brain to think like, oh, I'll speak to her in a second or any of this bullshit. You'd be so surprised of how quickly a woman who's so into you in waves will quickly lose interest in you, or at the very least lose attraction. Women know what they're doing. They know from the eye contact and the smile that basically like the best guy will walk straight up to them, and every second that you're not walking towards them, her perception of you goes down and down and down. How do you become the kind of guy who can just walk up to a girl as soon as you've made eye contact? Because it's kind of scary. The cue that I give myself is to tell myself like, turn your brain off and command your legs to just walk towards her. You don't need to sit there and think of what to say. Command your legs to walk towards her. Take a nice deep breath at the same time and literally just say hello, and maybe just give her a compliment. You look really happy today. Hello, you're beautiful. Hello, what's your name? Just brain dead. As soon as you've done that, you'll be in the middle of the conversation. She's shy as well, and you'll be able to just navigate it together. The biggest thing is that you've just got to force your legs to walk towards her and not do any of this cope bullshit where you're acting like too cool. I'll speak to her after the next set or whatever. Never do that, because you'd be so surprised of how quickly her interest could wane. The final massive tip I want to give you is you can absolutely attract a girl and even get into a relationship with a girl who's shown you zero of these signs. So these are some signs that makes it more likely, but you'd be surprised. You can literally like have a girl who hasn't looked towards you, who hasn't interacted with you at all, but you can go up to her and end up getting into like a good relationship with her, end up like being with her, end up impressing her, getting a number, whatever. Don't just rely on these signs, because it's easy to think, oh, she's not giving me any signs, she's not looked towards me, you know, if she looks at me then I'll go speak to her. You'd be surprised of how often you can go up to a girl who hasn't even looked at you, end up waving to get her attention, speaking to her, and then having such a pleasant conversation with her. What we're building here is like the dream for most men. It's what I call the Adonis lifestyle. That's where you wake up next to your beautiful feminine woman and you're so in love and you're living this amazing life where you get up out of bed, you see yourself in the mirror and you look aesthetic and muscular, but also your body moves and flows so well. You've got no bloating, prime health. You've got healthy, happy children. You've got purposeful work where you make money online, so you've got freedom, and you live in this like community of other people that you really like. Maybe you've got like a farm and little chickens and everything. This is kind of like the dream life for so many men, and that's what we're building when you follow my advice in these videos. If that's what you want, the top link in the description, if you go click on that right now, is my self-improvement forum page, and that's where you can get into discussions about self-improvement and get advice or even give advice to other people. So just go click that top link right now. This is a growing movement of guys getting onto self-improvement, delaying gratification, and achieving the ultimate lifestyle that men want, and that's where you're living in such a peaceful environment. You wake up next to your beautiful feminine wife, got healthy children who are like mini athletes, like they're strong. Your little boy's got like a six-pack when he's like 4 years old and he can spar, and he's got a vicious right hook. You work in like a purposeful business or a career that actually gives you so much fulfillment but also freedom in your life. You don't have to be like a wage slave cuck, go drive into your 9 to 5 to take orders from your boss, your little fucking dog, putting like a tie around your neck like a collar. Live like this wholesome, amazing life that we can dream of as men. You've got family, you've got peace, you've got purpose, you've got good finances, and most of all, you've got your community. You live very closely along with other people that you trust, other families that have merged well with yours. This is the Adonis lifestyle. It's the vision that you will build when you follow my advice.